This is Black Woman CEO. Welcome to the only podcast dedicated to giving you the raw and real experiences of successful Black women entrepreneurs. Yes, girl, we're talking about the behind the scenes strategies of what it takes to increase in your profit, power, and purpose. I am your host, Quanisha Green, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. Particularly captivating clients during a crisis. And I want to emphasize the crisis part, right? We can have all these emotions around it that may not be there when we're just trying to do our marketing and sales processes outside of it. Now, for many of you, that is still a charged process, right? And you may still have some fear and hesitation around it, even if you are generating some income, right? But the consistency that you need to have or asking for, right, a higher level of investment may still be something that you're working through. And then if you add this other component of, oh my gosh, there's a stressful time in the world, right? It can exacerbate, right, what you already had going on, right? Or even amplify it, right? Or once again, a whole new crop of things can show up for you. And then some of you may be asking the question of how can I help keep a positive mindset during the crisis? Or how can I help women keep a mindset? LaVon was saying, how can I help women keep a positive mindset during the crisis? Taking the breath with you. I need to get out there. People need me. The fact that I still have products to sell and I believe people are still buying. Will I get a no just because people are afraid of their financial situation? No one's going to buy my product. Will people have the money to purchase? How do I deliver my expertise? I think I said that one. Yes, and then breathing is important. Yes. So some of you were like me, and we went kind of straight into this is time to lead and serve, right? This is not the time to shrink. But for many people, our fear and emotion set in, and it makes us step back. Right. So I'm not even trying to say shrinking is a bad thing. It's a natural human emotion, right? Where our thoughts and stuff start to get in the way and we step back. And from the very beginning, I've been pushing my clients. I'm like, go forth, go forth, go forth. So it's actually interesting to see some of you who are like, oh, I was thinking how to show up. And I'm like, actually, you were not thinking that way. Maybe you got amnesia because 4 weeks ago, when I was talking to you at the group, that was not your thought, right? So it's okay to have both thoughts, right? But I just noticed that many of the folks that, at least in our circle for their coaching, it wasn't going to helping yet. The first thing was like, oh my gosh, how do I run my business right now? How do I do it in a way that doesn't make me feel like predatory, right? And then once again, will people have money, right? Are there buyers out there? So let's just get this on the table so that we can all touch and agree. There are still people buying things, right? So there's still buyers out there. The second thing is that everyone isn't broke, right? Everyone's not having a tough financial situation, right? Because the coronavirus for many of us is just making us stay at home. But there are still people working from home, right? There's still people making good money working from home, right? And what they're doing. And think about it. While you may hear the small business owners and stuff having a really difficult time. It's mostly small business owners, right? And small business ranges from people making $250,000 to like $300,000, right? In their gross revenue, right? That doesn't mean everybody is, although that might not primarily be your market, right? Your market can be other folks like organizations or corporations, city government, right? So, we have to think more broadly. And also the challenges that people have aren't going away, right? It may be also more amplified or pivoted, right, in a different way where we have to talk to the particular things that they have going on. And I'm going to talk about the how, because that's actually the one high impact strategy that I love is the how do we do that, right? But let me go into the why part. So what is captivating clients or client captivation as opposed to regular old marketing? So I went into this more heavily in the art of client captivation. So I'm not going to go do the same conversation, but I will give a recap, right? So let me know if you ever been messaged and someone's like, hey, go to my group, here's a link. And you're like, you just became my friend. Or they're plopping into your messenger with like a flyer that their hair bundles are on sale, right? Or all you see on someone's page is, and this is not always about direct sales. It could be like, buy my book, right? Or, hey, I have a workshop, right? Let's just see marketing, right? It's almost like as if in real life, it would have been like a flyer, right? And they just hand you a flyer. Or some of us actually have that experience offline. Like a coworker may come and they're like, oh, I'm selling Avon. Here's the catalog. And you're like, I am trying to type my note to the director, right? So the idea of marketing is that you're promoting that there's the product to buy, right? So you're promoting so that people can buy, right? Or someone is selling a product, right? But the way that old marketing sometimes happened, right? Or what we can see often as like an old style marketing is thinking like the more I put this out, right? And plaster some face, almost like a numbers game, is going to lead people to buy. Right? It's going to lead people to buy, or it's just about getting it in front of you, right? So when we go into the supermarket, they have those displays, right? And think about Walmart, they're like half the price, right? And so that may entice us, and we're looking at the display, and it's like, that's marketing, right? This thing is there, right? And of course, the sales enticing you, but they're just like, we just got to get this in front of the buyer, right? And they're going to want it. Now that works for certain levels of, products, but for most of us, particularly online, that doesn't really entice us to buy. Now, client captivation is how are you actually magnetizing that person? And so captivating is more about three things. It's about connection, it's about engagement, and it's about building a relationship. So connection, engagement, and building a relationship. And once again, if we use the examples of big companies, they definitely do this, right? Commercials can be a great way to build that connection, that engagement, and build a relationship or maintain the relationship. So for example, last night I was watching, I think 911 or something, some show, and a Dove commercial came on. It wasn't even say Dove. So Dove was at the end. So all this commercial came on and it started showing the healthcare workers and the marks that they are having on their faces from all the protective gear that they have to have, because really, right, the way that their protective gear is that you cannot let the air in. So it's like literally sucking and causing red marks. Let me put yes if you've seen that. Put mask, yes, if you've seen that. So they're having like bruising and all this different redness, right? So literally, it was like 4 or 5 images of that. It was this image, that image, and it was like almost to like, it's like a slow melody was playing. I don't know if you remember those like Save the Dog, that ASPCA shows. And you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening, right? So you see these masks, and then at the end, Dove is like, Dove, we appreciate all that you do and how everyone shows up in their different way. And Dove has donated, 500 moisturizers to first responders. I think, I'm not saying the exact language, but it was like that. It was like someone said, I literally just watched that commercial. Yeah, tell me what you think, Jamie. Right. And so they drew you in because once again, these emotions is causing this connection with these first responders. You're like, oh my gosh, these are the people that we maybe are not seeing, and they're helping all these people, and people are dying, right? So that emotion's coming in, then they're engaging us, right? And then Dove is saying, we just donated all this stuff to these people you are caring for, right? And we just want to let you know. Next commercial. Next commercial. Right? And so now you're like, oh, Dove is so nice. They're helping all these people. And now when I go to the supermarket or to CVS or I go online, I might just buy some Dove, right? So Dove just engaged us, right? And helped us to feel connected. Now, some of you may have already like something against Dove and you're like, oh, I can't stand them, which is fine, right? We all know Dove isn't perfect. But for some of us, it built right? Once again, they engaged us. And so if you have a relationship, it could be strengthening that relationship. You're like, yeah, that's why I use Dove, because they care about people, right? Or for someone new, it may have been like, wow, I would love to get to know more about this company. Maybe let me go to their website, or next time I'm in the store, I'm going to read their little message behind the bottle. Oh, I'm going to go to dove.com. And so not to emphasize Dove, I am not endorsing Dove. I do have an affiliate link, although I got some Dove body wash inside. But so you can just see that big example, right? So how does that work on, you can say a semi like meso or micro example for many of us who are solopreneurs or small business owners? And this is my number one high impact way. And it's the same thing that Dove did, is to present your content, right? And think about content comes in so many ways, but primarily content is like a story, right? Some aspect of how are you connecting with the folks who need you, right? How are you starting to speak to them, to engage them? And then you're starting to build that relationship, right? And how does that happen? It happens through our content. And so once again, I wanted to read from the Content Marketing Institute, what exactly is content marketing? Because you may have heard it, and here's why it works, right? So, content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience and ultimately to drive profitable customer action, right? So, strategic marketing approach, creating and distributing value, right? That's relevant, consistent, and then attract and retain a clearly defined audience, right? Ultimately to drive a profitable customer. So that's why content works at all, right? It once again, it engages people, it builds that connection, and it's a relationship. Because typically the strategic way that we're using content is that we may be telling, actually write down some of the, when you think about content, and let me actually share what some content is. So a video like this is considered content. Reading an article is considered content. Getting someone's checklist is considered content. I said blogging is a video content. Having a conversation is a piece of content, right? So there's so many different pieces of contents, and really you can see content as just the medium and where you are sharing this value, right? So LinkedIn I actually have a list here. Blogs and social media posts, LinkedIn articles, guest posts, guide reports, ebooks, workbooks, YouTube, live stream series, weekly content. Once again, webinars, emails, all those are content that's coming to you, right? Now, of course, there's ways to create that content to make it captivating, but we are offering value, right? And why is this high impact? So buyers need this crucial factor to make a buying decision. They need to like, know, and trust you. And how do you get to like someone? Someone tells me, what do you do to get to like someone? Oh, Jamie said, I was watching my pre-recorded episode of 911 and had no idea it was a Dove commercial today. And right, it surprised you. So we were watching the same show on demand. I was just so drawn. It made me want some Dove based on the emotions. See, right? It gets your emotions up. So the like, know, and trust factor. Usually we know we like someone initially, like something they do can just grab our attention. And then they start like hanging out with us, right? There's this exposure to them. And then something that they're saying is connecting with you, right? Or resonating with you. You may even feel heard. You're like, wow, this person's talking about my experience, or I like this stuff too, right? So something in their words starts to endear you to them, right? And then the knowing part, for much content that we particularly use for marketing of any type of product, we start to tell stories, right? So case studies, testimonials, your own story serves to help build that know factor, right? So they like you, their content is talking to them in some way. They know you, right? So all the stories, they get to know you, even what your clients may be saying about you when you share testimonials. And then they have to trust you. They have to trust you. So usually in your content, you are somehow helping that person to have a win, right? You may be teaching them how to do something in the content. You may be helping them to understand something more widely. Like this, I call it Y2. So some of you, this is kind of like a Y2, right? I'm sharing some of the why and not necessarily deeply the how to, right? So why they may want to change a perception, or why they may want to consider something, or why there's a new solution to a problem that they've been having, right? So they start to trust because they're like, oh, this person's helping me. I got new insight, or I did her how to, and I got an introduction to get on a podcast because that person taught me how to pitch, even that little pitch template she gave me, right? So they start to trust you because it's the consistency and they know what that you do works, right? And then also other elements of trust is, once again, you showing up consistently, sharing how you helped other people. So some of the things we do have, like, work across all the many factors in this larger like, know, and trust factor. And that's crucial to make a buying decision because once again, like Jamie just said, it draws up our emotions as a human being, right? It draws up our emotions. So how does this work, particularly to what's happening right now? So the strategy, and you can say the science, right? The sales psychology behind it is the same, right? Connect, engage, build a relationship. It happens through a high impact strategy, content marketing. But as I just showed you, the medium for content marketing can change. We all have different personalities. Our strengths come out in different ways. Like mine comes out in video better, right? And I wrote a lot in my business, but I'm like, wow, I can say in video much faster than me writing my blog and having a typo, right? And then some of y'all emailing me like, line 5, Quanisha, I was missing a word, which is fine. I know you love me. That's why you tell me, right? But I used to write a lot and I took this test and it was like, oh, your content personality is video and in person, like in live events. And I was like, that so makes sense, right? Because I went to a conference early last year. I wasn't even a speaker at the conference, but I kept getting up, asking questions. I was introducing myself. And 8 women came up to me at this conference, right? And said, hey, I want to know more. I want to know how I can work with you. Right. And I emailed them all. And then one person became a client. And guess what? It was a $5,000 client. She actually wound up paying her whole thing in 30 days. So I took $500 off for her taking fast action. Right. I went to a conference as a participant, but I was still in a way sharing content, valuable information. Even the way I was asking my questions was of value to other people. And what? I captivated them, right? It was building that like, know, and trust. And then it comes, hey, I want to learn more. Right. And that's when they continue on, then I share my processes for exploring how, I can help someone and how I outreach. Right. So that's why it's high impact because they're already coming somewhat warm. I won't use primed because I was like, that sounds a little predatory. They're coming warm to you. There's someone who's like, I kind of like her, or I like her style. I love what she's saying. It's helping me. Right. So when you get to that sales part, they're already coming to you knowing something. Right. And now it's a matter of exploring like, well, what may be a good fit for me? Or I have some questions, right, on how what you do will serve me. Right. That's what the sales conversation does. So when we think about during crisis, we want to think about still giving value, right? How can you help solve a problem or be of service? Like some of you said, how can I help people? How can I lead? Right. And often we're leading through our content, right? Through how we show up, through what we share. And so it's thinking about how is this problem that I solve, particularly showing up during this crisis, right? And how can I use my zone of genius to meet my audience, right? Or my potential clients where they are. Right where they are. Right. So I'm going to use an example that's not mine. So you can see this outside of business. So one of my clients actually will use an offline business, right? Someone who had a brick and mortar business. So, and there's actually 2 people in the beauty industry. So one owned a nail salon, a hair salon, natural hair salon. The other one owned a brow studio, right? And guess what? People can't come in to see them because it's on quarantine. So we had to think about what are actually people, your clients struggling with. And let me know if you're struggling with this. As you can see, my eyebrows a little struggling. Are grooming, right? Hair can't get done. No one's here to wax my brow the way it's supposed to be waxed. Right? Maybe someone's used to their natural hair going to wash and moisturize. Sorry, I hit the mic. And now none of that's happening. So it was like, okay, well, how can you still meet the need? Right? How can you still meet the need? So we had to get creative. I was like, well, why don't we have virtual hair salons? Right. And they were like, a virtual appointments. I was like, well, what would that be? I was like, well, people, they need to know how to do it themselves, particularly with the products, if they can, that they have at home, right? Or that they can order that's the way being delivered. And can you guide them through that, right? So the same price they would have paid for you doing the wash and style, now either for the same investment or maybe a little lower because you're not actually doing it, you could teach them a style, right? Or you can show them how to wash their hair so that when they do see you, hopefully in the next 4 to 8 weeks, their hair didn't go crazy, right? Or is absolutely dry. So they can still do something to maintain it. Or if they do a video call, conference, they can still feel confident showing up, right? The brow studio, I was like, can you show people how to maintain their brows well enough until they come to you and you know, do your expertise. And she was like, oh, I can, because there's like marks and I can show them how to do the chalk. Right? Like she can send a little kit to you beforehand and then she can tell you what to do. Right. And then after that, she's like, I don't want to keep helping her with that. Like, so I'll do one. It could be like $100 and that's what it is. Right. So I just want you to see that example of here was a crisis, but their clientele still needed something, but it looked different. Right. It looked, so before it was like, hey, do it for me. And now it was, how do you teach me how to do this myself? Because I can't go see you. Can you all see that? How same issue, right? But because of the crisis, it showed up differently. So what we've been doing at Black Women CEO and teaching our clients is how do we realign our expertise to fit what is needed? And this is not about changing industries. Right. So, for example, the owner of the brow studio, she started adding on health products. So she signed up with a direct sales company and she was like, hey, while we are home, I actually want to expand my business to also focus on health and wellness. Right. So I'm going to add some products. So she actually added something and she wants to continue to do it. So she was like, I'm going to add these virtual services, which I'm going to keep after. Right. So now she created a new source of revenue. She diversified her revenue. I'm going to add these health and wellness products because my clients are always talking about this. And she also does like skincare and some other stuff. She was like, your health, right? And detoxing is so important to all these other components that I actually help clients with. So now I can focus on that. And then when we're off of quarantine, I can go back to actually doing the services, right? Facilitating them that's under her expertise. So here we are in a crisis and she just created 2 new sources of revenue, right, for her business to help make up for the one that is lacking or that's going to have a dip, right? So during the crisis, the real key is pivoting, and you may have heard pivot a lot. I like to say realign because I feel like pivot is like a total shift off, but you're just slightly, if you were here before, you're just slightly moving over. Right? So the core thing is, what is a problem that is coming up for your client? So I want everyone to write in the chat, due to coronavirus, right? What particular problem is coming up for your clients or your audience, or that is amplified for your audience? That's within your zone of genius, right? So don't tell me, oh, people are reading more books. And it's like, well, do you help people read books or do you get books to people? And you're like, no, I'm a psychic. It's like, okay, well, why are you telling me about books? Right? So that's within what you help people with. What are you seeing as a problem that's more pronounced, right? So while you all that, I will tell you mine, a Black Woman CEO, right? What did we say when we came on? There's some people who are like, I need to step up as a leader, right? And then there's some people like, hey, I want to shrink because I don't know what to do. Like, how do I, run my business? Right. And so I saw that, hey, I need to focus on the content piece. Because content is what positions you as a thought leader, right? Content is what positions you as a go-to person. Content actually allows clients to come to you when you do it in a strategic way, right? Where you're engaging them, like I said, telling those stories, and then have a clear call to action that guides people into your formal sales process. And for many of us, that's having the call, right? The enrollment call, strategy session call, discovery call, right? And your content can help facilitate that for you. And it works in good and bad times because, right, what did I say about the bad? That you may need to realign your messaging and speak to where people are or what they need right now. So I know people want money, right? They want to maintain their money or they want more money. And then what I know they need is that they need to learn how to do content, right? They need to learn how to captivate clients so people are coming to you. And that happens by the means of content. Right. And then people need to know what content is most effective, which is video marketing nowadays. Right. It's the most effective. Right. And especially online, you can literally get on a video like this and sell. Right. Or get leads for your business. So, right. I've been calling it live stream for leads. That's what we've been teaching our clients here at Black Woman CEO. Right. But then if you're offline, right, it's still like, how are you getting your thought leadership and your content out? Right. So that may be, doing leverage marketing where you're writing for a publication, right? Or you're pitching to Forbes for a story, right? So offline, it may look somewhat different. Maybe you're doing a collaboration or a partnership to still connect with your ideal audience and serve them where they are. You own a restaurant. Maybe you're like, hey, we can't have people in here, but we're going to realign to do deliveries, even if you maybe never did deliveries before, right? Or actually, we're going to, contract with the hospital and have meals come, right? So you can realign. So it works both online and offline, actually in good or bad times. And I told you why it captivates, right? Because it draws people in. Because essentially, when we start to share our content, it allows that person in the crowd to raise their hand and like, oh, she's talking about me, right? I have that problem. That's how I talk about it. What else does she got to say? How is she going to help me? Or how does she feel like people need to solve the problem? Right. And so then you could be strategic around that. So particularly during this crisis, the question is, how has the problem changed, or what is more pronounced for your audience right now? And then you still use the same tactic of you showing up as a leader, right? Because here's the thing. Many people don't speak. Many people don't write books, right? People are extremely shy to get on video like this. So while we may say, oh, well, people get on video all the time, it is a small minority of people. So your audience sees you doing something that they probably would not be doing themselves, right? And then once again, how we deliver our content in that valuable, relevant way, it elevates you as a leader, right? It elevates you as an expert. It elevates your credibility, right? And that's all that trust factor. They're getting to know you because you're showing up consistently. And then ultimately, they probably like you because you're meeting their need and you're talking to them. All right. So someone said, I'm a massage therapist and my clients and potential clients no longer have me to help them manage their pain. So I've been posting demo target towards specific issues on how they can help heal themselves. So for instance, I did a video on how to deal with plantar fasciitis pain. I know I totally butchered that. Facilis, is that an I or T? Anyway, something like that. And if you want to talk to, is it Keisha or Kasaya? You can like message her if you have that. I'll ask my audience on IG what they'll like to see. Vic Morgan said, the biggest problem is shifting the way we interact. Where we mainly have face-to-face interactions, we are trying to adjust to this virtual lifestyle. Due to the virus, they're more uncertain and depressed, right? So some of your life coaches. Vic, what is your business when you said you're switching over to virtual? And someone said, I focus on character, trust factor, and mindset, building a relationship with them. Right. So is it Kasaya or Keisha? Sorry if I'm butchering it. I'm really conscious about saying your names, right? Because my name is Quanisha. So, all types of Canasias, all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to call you K for now. K Cole, if that's okay. I was thinking Keisha Cole. I'm pretty sure people do that a lot. So for example, she's a massage therapist, right? So even one place she can take that, I'm not always into asking people, oh, buy, because the people who say stuff aren't necessarily buyers, right? So, right. So you want the people who are ready to take it to the next step. So say you're doing your IG, you're showing people how to heal, like maybe how to relieve their back during this time until they get to the massage therapist. You can say, well, I'm actually doing virtual sessions with people so that one-on-one, I can meet your particular needs around your back. Right? Because what usually happens, or why do we go to a massage therapist? We want a customized experience to what we are struggling with, right? Many of us don't go to a group massage, or we don't go to self-massaging, right? So one, you can definitely teach people, here's how to take care of this at home, or we can meet one-on-one, right? So as a group, you can say we're doing a group where we're talking to everybody, like a yoga class, right? Everybody, or we're going to actually all stretch together and do some things, everyone who's struggling with XYZ. Or if you want more hands-on support, or you need more of strategy, you can definitely schedule a virtual massage intensive with me. It's $100. This is what you're gonna get, right? Or it's $200, and this is what you're gonna get, right? Then you sell it, right? Benefits and features. But you see how though, K Cole, that you're asking the people to come who are ready to get the one-on-one. I don't need to ask you if you need it. Obviously you need it. You are here doing this free class with me. But for those of you who are ready to take it to the next step, right? So I'm giving you a real valuable question that you can put in all your content, no matter the medium. For those of you who are ready to take whatever you do to the next step, right? To actually launch a business this month, to actually get control of your emotions, right? To actually real estate, actually to buy your home still in the next 2 weeks or the next 2 months, because you may say there's all this, virtual things that you can do to watch your homes, right? To see the homes or to help them with the process. I'm trying to think of some of you other organizing, right? If you're ready to get your house in order right now, let's talk, right? Because we want the people who are ready, right? So yes, all of you showed up. There's like right now, 15 live, who knows how many. The last video I did, it got over 400 views, right? So there's all these people who are engaged. I attracted them through my content. But when I say those of you who are ready, it may be like 1 to 3% of your audience is actually ready to buy from you, right? But if you don't make the invitation to those who are ready, you're doing them a disservice. So if we accept that there are buyers, if we accept that there are people still struggling right now, if we accept that there are people who not only have the financial resource, but who have the time, the mindset, right, and the willingness to start to solve their problem, right, or get support with it, then we all have buyers. And so the question is how we captivating them. And the number one way to do that is to show it through content, because then we're showing them through value. It's a value exchange, right? It builds that like no trust factor. It's a value exchange, but then you have to have that key component of the invitation, right? People are not going to just come up to you and be like, oh, I want to buy from you. Sometimes you randomly will get that, but often people will leave. Right. And they'll be like, oh, I got to go find someone to help me write my book. Whereas you were up there already on the stage talking about how to write a book. And if you just made the introduction of like, hey, I can help you do this if you're ready, right? You would have got some clients. Keiko said, Kissaya. Y'all know I don't know phonics either, right? I went to school in the Bronx and we learned by sight words. So hopefully, Kissaya, that's how I'm going to say it. Let me know if it's right. Kissaya. I'm like, I went to an Ivy League college and I still can't, we all got our thing. All right. So let me get back on track. And so how does this look offline? So for example, I had a client who came to me. She had a website. She had a free offer. I think she had like 10 people on her list. She was actually getting invited to do talks because her content was so good, but she didn't have any clients. She had 0 clients, right? And when she came to work with me in 30 days, she got booked out. She was actually booked. 30 days, she got her first 4 clients. She got booked out. And then in 90 days, she was on path to replacing her full-time income. She was a therapist in the UK. And the only thing that we did differently, everybody, is that one, we tweaked the language she was using in her content, right? So it better connected with her audience and engaged them more. And then the main thing that we added, everybody, was simply that invitation. Simply the invitation, right? And we got her doing some more content marketing online. But as you can see, like just those little tweaks using content made a big difference in her life. And now she's gone on to do conferences, international conference, all this really great stuff, right? But that was the basis. And she had to build her confidence to make that invitation, right? So at the end of the talk, not to wait for hoping, right? Giving her power away, hoping that someone will come up and say, oh, I want to learn more. Because it doesn't mean they don't want to learn more. But when you make the invitation, what does it do? You call out, and then what are people going to do? They're going to magnetize, and the ones who are ready are going to come towards you. Because who chases people? Who likes to chase people here? Probably nobody. One of you may be one of those folks who are like proposing to people, and you be like, girl, I don't propose to that man. If you did that, I'm not making fun of you. I don't understand it. But we're probably people, no matter if it's a man or woman, right? Whatever your, love interest is, you probably don't chase them, right? And that's what you don't want to do in business. You want to be sought after. But you making the invitation helps those people to, because I said, that's right. It's like, no, we don't do that, right? If you don't like it, we can have a messenger conversation. I can have my points as to why you should not do that. Right. And so, because here's the thing, when you chase people, you're going to always have to be chasing them. So if they're your client, they're probably not going to hand in their homework, right? You're going to have to keep, hey, Michelle, I don't have your homework. Or hey, Michelle, we got to schedule the time to do your organization, right? Like you would have to keep chasing them all the time. It sets up the tone of the relationship. So you want to set the tone where everybody's coming, right, to the space equally, right? Or you're positioning yourself still as expert and they're coming to you for guidance and support. So there's a whole psychology behind this, right? So that's one thing. So how to captivate clients during tough times, the icky way, right? So a lot of what I just explained to you is the non-icky way, right? You're showing up, you're giving content. If you already have like a list or an audience, right? Or even if you only have your social media, you're making invitations to people. Like I made an invitation to most of you to come watch this, right? And then I thought about things of like, what even the things I'm going to talk about that I'm going to put in these bullet points would actually engage my ideal audience and what they're struggling with, right? You may want to know, like, what just is this client captivation? What is this number high impact strategy that Quanisha's talking about? Because I know she generates revenue. And she even said her business hasn't really changed as a result. So she's doing something and I want to know what it is. And then because some of you thought about like, I'm not going to sell because it's a predatory. Am I taking advantage of people? Right? That's that icky way. And so the icky way will be just plastering people. Right? It will just be, once again, that plastering, just like not engaging, not even asking people like, hey, what are you struggling with? It would just be, once again, that hard kind of selling, chasing people, just putting your flyer up, messaging people. That's that real icky way, right? Or if someone's talking to you, you're trying to do the hard sell, right? You're not listening to them, right? You're almost telling them like, well, here's what you need and this is what you're going to do. And they're like, well, how do you know I need that? Right? So when you think about a used car salesman, sometimes that could be that icky way. Another icky way is that you're just playing on people's fears. That is an icky way, right? Because it's almost like you're helping to perpetuate the anxiety or the fear, the frustration. And they're like, yeah, if you don't buy that now, your house is going to fall down. You're like, what? And so they're buying sometimes out of panic, right? Out of panic. And you don't really care if they have a transformation or the result, right? They're sometimes buying because they're like, oh, I'm so scared. Or I got to like try to fix this because this person said my life is going to end if I don't go ahead and give them this money to learn this real estate class, right? So sometimes when people go to seminars, that's why they get kind of like, I'm going to miss out or something's going to happen with my life if it's not a good seminar, right? So the non-icky way is to, one, use the content to show your value, to build that like, know, and trust factor, because one, that helps people know that you're not preying on them, right, in the first place. And you're giving first, right? It's almost like that servant leadership. You are giving them something of value first. And then another way that it's not icky is that you just make an invitation. So for example, I was even having a conversation with someone in the group and I was like, hey, our Meant for More workshop can help you because we're going to talk about more about how to have more profit in your business and that kind of stuff. And then I asked her, would you like, right? I didn't throw it at her. Would you like it? And then she responded back, yes, I would. And I was like, okay, here's the link. Right. So I see ickiness as, let me just throw this link at you. You said you had this problem here. Go sign up. Right. No, let me ask you if you even want it. You may be like, no, I already doing something next week. Right. So that's a non-icky way. So one, coming with value and then being strategic about how you ask the question to see if someone wants to move along. Right. And kind of like your, I'll say your profit roadmap. That's what we talk about here. Right. And your sales process where eventually you may propose to them, in the sense of that you're inviting them to actually hire you in that way. So a lot of the call to actions for our content that's not icky is inviting that person to explore more. So for example, an enrollment call usually is free, right, or complimentary. And then in that call, you may be seeing if they're a fit for your paid offer, right? A webinar is usually free or complimentary. And then you're seeing if they're a fit or they're going to see through your presentation, right? Depending on what that call to action is, if they're going to go sign up for your intensive or your course or whatever like that, right? Sometimes people do a video live stream series, and then there's usually a call to action at some point for their workshop or their signature offer, or it may just be for the call again, right? So we can see if you're a fit for XYZ program. So, that's where it becomes non-icky, because it's all these permissions that need to happen. Hey, do you want to sign up for the webinar? Actually, you go fill your information out. It's there. And now you are still taking this initiative to sign up, right? And come to our space as the expert, right? Where we can help them explore and once again share some how to, some why to, right? Tap into the mistakes and myths that they can be making and then give them the solution. Right. So can you see the difference? Like icky is I'm a friend you, or even if I know you, I'm gonna come and just say, throw a link in your box. And you're like, what is this about? Like, what are you doing? Or you're like, hey, take a look at this. And I'm like, I don't know. No. Right. That's kind of icky. Right. So not giving people permission. Right. Or tapping too much into that fear where you're like, it's an anxiety based decision. Because another non-icky way of still helping people to move is actually to tap into their aspirations, right? So either we're trying to get away from pain or we're trying to get to pleasure. So what is their pleasure? What is their desire, right? And you're helping to pull that out, right? And then you tap into that to say, yeah, I can help you get a home that feels good because everything has a place, right? You're not going to have this mess. You're not going to have all this paper. Yes, exactly. What we do in our 90-day program is going to help you to get that. Because here's the thing, everybody, vision propels. Vision propels. When we do it from fear, where it feels icky, those people often stay in their frustration or they don't know how to move forward with you. So even if they hire you, you're going to have to keep tending to their stuff, right? And you won't see that forward movement. Let me know. Just put vision down if you kind of have seen that as a service provider, that the people that come to you who are scared and frustrated often don't move, or you have to do more like coaching, even if you're not a coach. You're like, I'm a strategist for organizing, but you like almost giving that person therapy because they didn't get clear on their vision. And sometimes it's not that we're doing it predatory. Sometimes we don't know because we were taught to like, oh, tap into that person's pain. But if they're not really ready to get towards the pleasure part, they can be stuck, right? Because the vision is actually what's going to propel them to do their part, right? To do the work. Do you all see that? Just put yes if you kind of see how the icky and the non-icky way works. Right? Also, a non-icky way is also your intention. Right? Are you coming to this space to be authentic for yourself and to be of service? Right? To really help people for where they are and for what they're going through right now, and knowing that you have something to help them. And that if you don't help them, that's you being like stingy with your knowledge. The analogy I like to use is that we're all in a desert. We are thirsty, right? And you know that there's a well that's free or a spring full of water. And you ain't telling nobody about it. And it's not because you want to keep it all to yourself, right? You might be like, oh, I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to tell everyone. Like, I don't want to really interrupt their conversations. I don't want to seem like I'm the center of attention, like all this stuff going in your head. And it's like, girl, thirsty. We are thirsty. So it's like you're being cheap with your knowledge. That's what happens when you don't share it. Because then what? If you shared it and then you even taught us how to get to the well, we will love you because you're like, oh my gosh, she helped me so much. I was dying of thirst in the desert. Right? Put well if you get the analogy. Put well if you're like, oh, I definitely can see by sharing and showing up that I'm being stingy with my knowledge, right? And your gifts. And as you can see, that person was being stingy because she was in her head and she was letting her ego get in the way of actually how she could show up and help people. Right? So put well, right? If you're like, yeah, I'm doing some of that, right? That your own thoughts and insecurities and your doubts is getting in the way from you actually showing up and serving people and letting them know your solution, which is the well, like, hey, my well can help you, right? Sell your house during this crisis. I have figured out how to show homes online, right? And even get all the mortgage stuff done. Like we don't have to stop working with the banks and the mortgage process and all these other pieces because I figured it out. I got a solution back here, right? I got the well. And as you can see, it was still non-icky because you were inviting them, that you may have guided them through your story, through talking to them, hey, what you want to do is be careful of the alligators on this side of the world. I don't know alligators in the desert, right? And then you may have this myth that there's really not alligators in the desert, but there are. So you want to actually go to the left 3 spots. And then you only want to drink 3 handfuls because you've been so thirsty, right? You have to make sure that you don't overdo it. So here was this person who was a guide through that, right? So, and that's an expert. So sometimes we think expert as this guru, right? Instead of thinking of him as a guide, many of you are guides here, or you're a strategist, right? You're helping people think through things, or you're a coach where you're asking strategic questions to help them come to their own conclusion, right? Or you're a consultant where you're like, I'm gonna tell you what to do. Help you solve your problem. And some of you are a mixture of all of them, which is fine, or a teacher, right? So as you can see, that expert part is so broad. And sometimes we get caught up on who's an expert, but you are an expert. You are a thought leader. And people need you to show up right now. And you don't have to feel bad, right? And we know that there's buyers. And even if there's all these people watching your content, but once again, you're saying if you're ready to invest your resources in getting support with this, if you're ready to work with someone, right? If you're ready to get your own customized strategy to deal with your back pain, let's talk. Or go here to schedule a call, right? Or go to this page because we're having an intensive and you can just go and roll. So by saying, are you ready, especially if you have the resources, all those buyers in the room are going to be raising their hand, right? So you're not going up to each person and be like, hey, you got money? You got money, right? Or what you going to buy? Why you here? Why you on the call? No, my job is to share captivating information, just like yours is, give value, and then make an invitation. That is my very non-icky way, just making an invitation. So put invite in the chat if you totally get that non-icky way. It's just you're giving value, you make an invitation because you already know that there are buyers in the room. And for those who want to go to the next step, you're doing a service to them, right? Because it's a disservice if you don't invite them because now they got to go search for an answer and you have the well. You got the well. Right? And so you're just inviting them. And nobody feels icky. Nobody then feels like they were taking advantage of anyone because you both then are exploring, can we work together? Right? Can we work together? Are you a fit for me and am I a fit for you? Right? Or is my work a fit for you? Right? And this is what you can do right now. So part of the whole captivating clients during crisis is figuring out what exactly is showing up for your clients or your audience, right? Your potential clients now as they struggle with the crisis. And once again, the crisis can be anything. Right now we have coronavirus, right? So it may be like, how do we take this online? How do I still buy my home that I wanted, right? Now that everything's closed, how do I still get in touch with the mortgage lender, right? How do I, or we were in the process, like not all the paperwork started. How can we continue that? Or how can I see the house during that final walkthrough, right? So some of it may be, you may not have the answers yet, but you're kind of gathering the questions, right? And I call that market research, right? You may be asking your client questions. Hey, since this coronavirus, how do you feel like your hair's been impacted as a result? Or during this coronavirus, how do you feel like you've been showing up? How have you been feeling since this? Like a life coach, how are you feeling? How are you managing this? What particular problems are coming up for you? Right? So we may even need to do some of that research to find out, or just really listen to your people, right? Even a check-in saying like, hey girl, how are you? I miss you. I know we don't get to go to our, client session on Friday. So I just want to see how you were doing. Right? And that person may share the particular challenge they have around that. Right? And then once again, you can say, actually, I can support you with that right now. Would you like to hear about it? Or, hey, girl, I actually been thinking about that and I'm trying to figure out how to solve it. When I do have the solution on how we can do something, would you like me to come back and share it with you? And it could be guy or girl. I just like to use girl because, our pronouns are not often used. And she might be like, yeah, come back and tell me about it. And right. And when it's ready, you're like, hey, Michelle, I know we were talking and you were worried about your hair. So actually, I have the virtual sessions ready. Here's how it works. Would you like me to send you the link to schedule one, or do you have more questions? right? I'm happy to jump on the phone. Sorry, I'm playing with my earring. That's up here. I'm happy to jump on the phone and talk to you about it to see if it's a fit for you or share how it's a fit for you. Right. And once again, this non-icky way works no matter you're in crisis or not. But because we all are probably so conscious about, people's situations, the fact that people are dying, right? We want to be conscious of how we show up in an integrity, right? In an authenticity to still make sure that we're operating our business. So I get that consciousness around it. Right. And I get that some of you may have, and I have it too, right? So I'm like, how can I honor the moment? Right. And maybe even be a little bit more softer in my approach, or even ask for maybe even more permission, right? Before I go inviting people to the next process. Or how can I create community? That's one of the reasons why I launched Magnetize, and I made it a sliding scale, because I was just like, I just want to help y'all show up, and I want to teach you my way of content marketing. And I help you to do that. And right now, I'm not too concerned of whether or not you can pay $1,000. I'm just like, I want you to pay something so you're invested, but I'm more concerned with helping you because I know these skills are what you need to make it now and later. Right? Because also part of client captivation, like we said, building that relationship, it may take a couple of touches. Like the sales research shows, it can take 6 to 8, some as high as 12 people's contact with you or seeing your offer before they actually buy from you. So that's why that's showing up consistently, right? Which you can still say is part of your sales process, is part of your marketing. It's still a way to captivate clients without being icky, right? You're giving them opportunities to interact with you over time. Right? Some people will be immediately ready to buy. So that's why we want to make that invitation right then. Right? At the beginning, like, hey, for those of you who are ready now, but then you're building that relationship also through your content over time. Right? So that's really the gist. So client captivation is all about connection, engagement, and relationship. The number one high impact, and it works online or offline, right, is the content marketing. And there's so many ways to do it. And I kind of named all of them: guest blogging, webinars, all these other talks, right? Talks. A lot of talks are virtual right now. Offline could be you submitting an article to a paper publication, right? That's sharing your content. 5 ways to get through this as a mom when your kids are driving you crazy at home. You can go pitch that to the Metro Mom of Philadelphia Metro Mom, and then that can go out to all the thousands, right? And then with the invitation in your bio, hey, my name is Jane, and I would love to invite you to grab my 3 steps to controlling your kids in quarantine. Click here to go get it, right? So even in your bio, you can still make an invitation for offline, right? And once again, there's lots of offline things that you can do to share your expertise, right? So once again, this works in good or bad times, both online and offline. And then the last thing is the icky and non-icky. And I won't go through all of them, but really icky is when you are kind of bombarding people, right? And they're not giving you permission. You haven't asked for permission to engage with them. And the other icky part is really taking advantage of people's fears in the effort to get them to buy, right? Whereas the non-icky way is a lot of permission, right? Asking permission. Hey, can I send you this link? Would you like to come to this? Do you want the link to that? Do you think that this would be a fit for you? Right? And then also making the invitation, say, hey, would you like to explore this more? I'm happy to share the link. The first step that people take in looking to work with me is a call. Would you like that? Right? So a lot more permission marketing, because once again, it's allowing them to make a decision, right, on how they want to move along the next step if they're ready. Is asking, the non-icky way is asking the question, hey, would you like to learn more? Or if you are ready, right? Because we only want the people who are ready, not the people who are frustrated, but you can be frustrated and ready, right? Particularly the people who are ready to do the work to get to where they want to go, right? For many of us who have service-based businesses, even products, are you ready to get your affirmations? Right? Your affirmation box. I don't know if Levon's still here. Right? Are you ready? Right? Here's some affirmations you can say to yourself. And if you're ready to get our kit, click here. Right? If you're ready to actually practice gratitude every day, click here to get our gratitude journals. Right? Mamie, I don't know if Mamie's here. I thought I saw her. Right? So that's how that works. That's the non-icky way. What do you all think about that? I'd love to hear what resonated with you. If you like this, hit a reaction. Remember, that helps the video to go further. It helps another sister to rise. Did you like it? If it's just like thumbs up or heart, let me know. And then as you write in the chat, I'd just love to hear your number one takeaway from today, or even an aha moment, like maybe something that stood out to you about this whole client captivation. And while you all are doing that, because I know there's a delay, so I want to invite you. We are all kicking off, at least in Black Women CEO, for you all. We're having our April Meant for More. Let me know if you know you're meant for more, right? Meant for More workshop week. It's literally about 7 days of content, video content, and live streaming to help you learn how to elevate your confidence, right? And then emancipate your earning power, right? You might be like, Quanisha, well, what does that mean? Let me put it here in the chat so you can enroll. I'll just put the whole little blurb. And it's also in the description above. So if you're looking for the link, it's in the description for the video. But like I said, the major thing, and this is even beyond crisis, right? You are probably thinking about, how do I attract consistent clients so that, one, you can have consistent revenue, right? Because to have a profitable business or any business, you need to be making money. If you're not making money, what you have is an expensive hobby. And I know you probably don't want to keep having a hobby, right? And then for those of you who are in the growth phase, you may be at this point of like, okay, I need more clients to come in so I can increase my revenue. And then ultimately that revenue helps you to have the life that you're desiring, right? Because you're helping them. Of course, I trust that you are delivering and delighting, right? But you need maybe more, or you need to learn how to increase your pricing. And that may mean you need to learn how to package your expertise and your services, right? So there's a lot of ways to actually make more revenue. That's not about getting more clients. But with all of this is consistency, right? And it's you having the confidence and courage, right, to actually show up in the marketplace successfully, right? Because you need confidence and courage to be successful, right? And it's always not about what you know. It's about how you are actually implementing what you know and how you're showing up in the marketplace. So for some of us, it's a lack of confidence, right? You may not be confident in what you do, or that people want to buy it, right? Or that people will buy it at that level. And maybe a lack of courage where you're like, Quanisha, I cannot get on a video stream like this. Or I cannot stand up in front of people. I cannot ask people to talk to me one-on-one. And so it's the courage to get out there, right? And actually get known for your expertise, because that's how you're going to expand your reach for more people. Right. And then the other part is the actual skill set, or like, what does it really take to emancipate your money? Like, how do you get paid top dollar? Many times for the exact same work that you're doing right now. Many of you are undercharging. You are undervaluing yourself, right? So there's certain ways to do pricing and all these other pieces that can help you really, that's what I said, emancipate your earning power. You ain't got to go get another credential, right? You don't need to go get a certificate. You don't need another class. It really is about emancipating your earning power by learning effective strategies to do like value-based pricing, how to package it, right? So it's a comprehensive solution, and people pay more because you're talking about the transformation and the result, which is priceless for many folks. And they're like, all right, what is that? I trust you, right? You learned that skill of content marketing to show up. And that's what we're going to cover all of this in workshop week. And for some of you who have, like, I've done this as a 3-day thing a couple of months ago, and folks joined Black Women CEO, like, this is the information that I teach our clients, right? And they just kind of get more of the hand sheets and me and like all this other stuff to the next level. But so the 5 must-haves to find clients now, we're going to talk about that. Like, what's the foundation? 5 powerful mindsets for more clients and cash, right? So when you click the link, this will go you to the page where you can save your spot, right? Because your mind got to be right. As we just saw with the well example, if you like, oh, Adele, or people don't see me as a leader, like, you ain't got to tell people about the water, right? So a lot of times it's our mindset, right? So 5 powerful mindsets. I'm going to actually teach you a psychological process, right? This is not just the woo-woo, like, oh, think abundantly. No, here's what psychology says about how you change your mind and therefore change your life. Right? The fastest, simplest path to cash and clients. Making money is easy. You don't need a website. You don't need a course. You don't, need to talk to 500 people and go knocking on their doors, right? Like, there's a really, like, you don't need, what else? A group program. Like, literally, there's a simple and fastest path to cash. I'm going to share what that is. I'm also adding this time. So even if you went to Mint for More when I did it like 6 to 8 weeks ago, you want to sign up because this time I'm adding in how to build a premium offer that's exactly what high-end clients want and need and therefore will buy. If you feel like your offer part needs work, then you want to sign up for Mint for More. If you're wondering, how do I create a premium offer? Then you want to sign up for Meet Some More. If you are trading dollars for hours, then you want to sign up for a Meet Some More workshop. Right? Let me know if you want to get paid $5K or more for the work that you do. I don't care if you're doing nails. You can still get paid $5K, and I can tell you how to package your stuff, expertise, $5K or more, right, for the work that you do. Or to get a $25K contract. I didn't tell you about Dr. June. So when Dr. June did her content, and she actually wrote, I call it an open for business letter, which is content to her professional and personal network. Within a week, Dr. June got offered a $25K contract. And then within her first 13 months, she got offered multiple $7 to $25K contracts because of how we packaged her offer, how she learned how to do her content strategically, right? And what to say, right? To do this. And then last year, we even brought Dr. June back to teach people how to do the proposals that she started to do. Right. So look, she makes some more money from her expertise and teaching our community how to land corporate clients. But guess what? The basis of all this is content. You're selling your content, right? And then you're offering your services or whatever you do at a value base. Let me know if you would like to get 7 to 25K contracts. Or for even an individual to pay you 10K, 5K plus or more for the exact same work that you do right now. Right? So we're going to teach you how to build a premium offer that does that. And then how to talk so high-end clients will invest. Right? Some of you are very awesome. You having the talks, you've been writing the blogs, people are engaging with you, but no one's really buying, right? Or a few people are buying. Or when you go, you may have learned how to package and you're like, no one's buying my 5K offer. It's probably how you talk in your sales, like how you're selling it, right? So I'm going to talk to you about how to talk so high-end clients will invest. And sometimes it's because many of us are using what I call professional speak, and I'm going to break that down what it is, right? So how to talk so those premium high-end clients will invest. And here's the thing. If you can get a premium client to invest, you can get everybody else to invest, right? So I put the link there and I'll put it again. Go ahead and sign up. And this is all free. This is free. I ain't charging y'all nothing to attend. This is free. So don't tell me I never gave you nothing. Don't tell me. I got real wrongs. Okay. So let me see the chat. Let me go back here. Vic said, I'm going to have to go back and watch the replay. So many great ideas that I couldn't write down. Vic's like, I got my whole marketing plan and service delivery. Yes, the replay will be here in the group. It will be in the unit section of the, what do you call it? The Facebook group. Jasmine said, I'm trying to build a life insurance business. I'm having a really hard time figuring out an opening line that's personal and feels caring. So once again, learning the how to talk so clients will listen, that would be really great for you because we talk about the process to getting that language that's going to feel personal and caring. Right. So that's what day 5, but you're going to learn stuff along the way. So I don't want you to be like, I got to wait for day 5 because if you're building a life insurance business, once again, all those processes is going to help you to effectively do that. So definitely sign up for Mint for More. I encourage you to do that. Nikki, this is awesome sauce. I'm in financial services and made a post and I got accused of feeding on people's fears. Oh, Lord. So okay. There are also, this has been happening in the online space, but let me tell you, don't listen to broke people. That's the other part, right? And this is the thing of like, one, if people aren't in business, like how they're still showing up for work, you got work too. Your work is your business, right? But the thing we do want to check, Nikki, is the language. So like I said, sometimes depending on our language, if it's like fear, right? Maybe you're just like, oh, your nest egg is going away. And it's like, oh my God, I'm losing my retirement. Right? That may be like digging into the fear. And that's why it could seem icky. So I'm not saying that you're exactly doing it. I'm just giving you an example. But a non-icky might be like, hey, do you want to secure your future for now and later? Right? Here's some ways to protect yourself. right? Start to call your creditors to do this. So you see how like you tap into the fear and probably can give the same information. And then people may see that as helpful, right? Versus feeling like, oh, you're feeding on people's fears. So once again, it could be us looking at the language, once again, and how you're sharing. Is it tapping in? And even if you didn't do it intentionally, if it taps into people's fears, sometimes people see that as predatory. And then also it could be people who don't understand business. And the fact that you are talking at all, the fact that you are making an offer, right, they see as wrong. And we don't care about those people. We love them. They could be our friends and our family. But unless you are a business owner, do not talk to me about my business. If I didn't hire you to be my consultant or my coach, like, no, please, that's your opinion. Okay, that's nice. And if you need some more support, Nikki, even now I have a video. I was like, during crisis, to sell or not to sell is not the question. So even in between workshop week, the rest of the week, if you want to get some more of my insight about that, you can definitely, listen to that. Okay. Wynette said, hi, my name is Wynette. I'm actually studying for my insurance exam. Oh, you was connecting with Jasmine. Would it be okay if I connect? I love when you all get together. Yay. Vic said, I signed up this morning. Awesome. Okay, Jasmine and Jeanette are talking. Let's talk. Nikki said, I like that, trading hours for dollars. Yeah, I don't want y'all doing that no more. Because it leads to burnout, right? It leads to burnout. Because let's say at the minimum, you are asking someone to pay you like $100 an hour, but you want to have, let's say even if you just want to get to 60K a year, right? I know many of us have higher. I'm just trying to do simple math, right? So to get to 60K, you need at least 5K a month, right? And 5K a month, what is that like every week? Let me just pull out the calculator. 5,000 divided by 4. You would need to have $1,250 coming in, right? Every week, right? To get to the 5K a month. Now, if you tell me, oh, I charge clients $100 an hour, and I'm not pulling that out of nowhere. Like I have had people tell me that, and I'm like, that's all you want to get paid for your hour? And you're not just giving them an hour because you're doing the prep, you're doing an hour after that. So what people think is an hour is really like 4 or 5 hours, right? But I digress. So even if I'm just getting like each client's $100 an hour, you would need 12.5 clients or hours, service hours every week, right? And to times that by 4, that's 50 hours a month so far. 50 hours a month that you would be working just on client delivery. That doesn't include your marketing. That doesn't include prospecting. That doesn't include sales conversations. That doesn't include what else? The admin and operations. So just on client delivery, that is 50 hours. Let me know if you want to do 50. I put 50 if you're like, yeah, I want to do 50 hours a month. No. 50 hours will not allow you to own your time. 50 hours, it will not allow you to travel around the world. Or if you were traveling around the world, you in Paris near the Eiffel Tower, you're going to be at that little cafe serving your clients or in your hotel room trying to do this 12.5 hours that you needed to do that week. Right? Or if you go take vacation and you don't service your clients, now you're losing out on that $1,250 because you're trading hours for dollars because you didn't package your work. Right? So I wanted to even do that math lesson, right? No more trading hours for dollars. If you want to learn how to not do that, come to the Meant for More workshop. So we're going to talk about that. Y'all put in the hearts. No, I really do this with my private clients, even our group clients. Some of the folks here at Iron Network and some of you are, have been private clients. I get down and do the math because we have these perceptions, like even 60K is not a lot after taxes, right? So we have these perceptions about, it'll be this and it's that, it's make 5K and I'm going to just charge people $200. And I'm like, well, let's do the math. And I do the math and you're like, wow. And it works the other way. Like there'll people tell me, oh, I'm not that much of an expert. And then we do the math. They have like 20 years of experience. They got a degree from Cornell. And all these certifications. And I'm like, you're going to sit there and tell me you're not an expert? Well, you have 25 years. And for the last, whatever many weeks that is, every week, you've been working 10 hours and you did all these advanced classes. You teaching people at the corporate training and you're going to tell me you're not an expert, right? So it works both ways. It works both ways. Okay. You see, y'all know workshop we're going to be hot because y'all getting this right now. Imagine like 7 days of this. Okay. Okay, Nikki said, I already read yours. Tiffany said, I've started getting those 1K, 2K contracts by working privately with you. Yay, win. And Tiffany's going to be one of the folks on our success panel, so you can hear more about her experience. Nikki said, I signed up. Yay. Jeanette Awanet, let me know. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Maybe Wanet. Mrs. Q Green, love your wisdom. Thank you for your bravery and sharing your wisdom. Thanks for the invite. You all are so welcome. And Stella said, I'm creating a group on mindset, not sure what for the freebie. What I've done is too much information for free. What a list of things you need to know, mindset, like morning routine, self-care, journaling. I keep getting, so Stella, this talk, we're not doing how to, and Stella, you're in Magnetize, you're in Aya, so we can do more of the coaching. So go ahead and actually copy and paste what you wrote and put it in Aya or in the Magnetize group, probably more Aya, right? And then we could talk about this more, and then you can even share a draft of what you have. So for those of you who don't know, like in our programs, I will actually look at your content. Private clients, they can send it to me in email, but in our group programs, I often tell people, go ahead and post your content, post your questions so that I can really give you some personal feedback on it. And also the other members, it's kind of like the mastermind part, they can give you feedback. Because for some of you, the folks that are with you may be your ideal clients, right? Or there's someone in your market. And y'all are just smart women anyway, right? So if we all are learning the strategy or, they're learning it together, they may be like, oh, well, remember Quanisha said, you don't have your call to action at the right? So they can support one another. So definitely go do that so we can give you some more coaching and support and how to. All right, everyone. How did this feel? How are you all feeling as a result of today? I'd love to hear how you're feeling. And while you do that, I'm going to take a sip. Do you all feel confident, or at least are really open maybe to the process of captivating clients during crisis? I do want to know, do you feel more confident? And just in general, how are you feeling as a result of our session today, our Talk Tuesday? Stella said, thank you. Vic said, inspired and hungry for more. Awesome. Yeah, and I will be giving the exact schedule out within the next, my goal is the next day because I had to revamp it. So this way you even know when the sessions are so that you can put them in your calendar. Jamie said, thank you. You're so welcome. Oh, Jamie got like the top fan little diamond. Oh, that's so cute. Top fan of Black Woman CEO. And while you're doing that, y'all, let me go to the other group to see if there's any questions in our Facebook group. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I didn't see it over here. So Carlene said, hi. Hey, Carlene. Jamie said, due to the coronavirus, my clients are struggling with their kids being home constantly and not having a moment for themselves. I'm trying to focus more on the motherhood role in family versus a blended family or co-parenting aspect because there isn't much child exchange going on during social distancing. Oh, that's a really good thing. Yes, I'm struggling with my kids when I'm not in a blended family. So I definitely get the motherhood aspect. But, another aspect of this, Jamie, that you may be able to speak to, and Jamie also is a coaching client, so we can talk about this some more, it's like, how does social distancing work? Like, how do you peacefully do co-parenting during social distancing? Like, so say if your spouse or your former spouse or, baby daddy, whatever, was supposed to have the kids on the weekend, like, how does that work? Because you're like, my kids ain't going out there with corona, but it might be like, you guys can have your special time in, live in the room together and we won't bother y'all for like 4 hours. That's really interesting how it may happen. Like, are you going to risk him coming with a mask to come to the house? Or you're like, okay, we got to figure out a virtual way for you to have your private time with. It's really interesting. So Jamie, there may be some things to speak on around that. Okay, Sharice, you were putting well from the well. Yes. So we don't want to be stingy with our gifts and with our knowledge. Okay. All right. Y'all fired up. Awesome. Jamie, you see that too? I was like, wow, look at that. Nikki said, thank you so much. Top fan. #top fan, Jamie. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that this all served you. Once again, whether in the link in the description, I put it in the comments too. I want to invite you to come for Mint for More. When you click that link, it takes you right to the sign up page. So you can just hit save your spot now. And all you got to do is sign up. You'll get an email letting you know that you're in. So make sure you look for that email, look in your spam folder, put it whitelist or move it to your inbox if you use Google Gmail so that you don't miss the email that we'll have coming up with your action guide, so your workbook for the week, as well as the other announcements. And yes, there will be replays. So the videos will be up for a limited time, but we also I was getting excited, but we also send you an email of the replays, right? So we really try to make sure that you signed up for the action guide. So we want to make sure that you're getting notified about the workshop when we're going live. And that's also why I asked for your number so that you can get the text alert. Because if you're like me, you may not be by your computer, but that text message coming, you're like, oh yeah, today's the session. Let me hit the Zoom link, right? Or go to the Facebook group. So we don't abuse it. We're not going to text you 5 times a day. It's just like, hey, we're going live at 2. Here's a link, right? Or just a reminder. Or the action guide is ready. Click here to get it, right? So just making sure that you stay informed. So that's why we ask for the numbers for the text alert in that way. Jamie said that's actually has been happening. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to talk about it. And even seeing how that may be coming up for moms. Is it like any lack of confidence or doubt, or do they still feel like they're running into the same issues, or is it impacting their motherhood view? I don't know. A lot of stuff that you do, and we can talk about it too during your call. And she said people are saying that they have not been exchanging. Some are compromising depending on the state they live in. Yeah, so it may be some effective ways. Let's have a workshop to talk about how you're going to navigate this during that. All right, everyone. But I want to leave you with, because we're going to do a whole lot more of this in the week. So one thing I would like you all to do, I always say, help another sister rise. And the way you can do that is by interacting with the video. So even before you go off, if you like this, tap those hearts, or just write a thank you in the comments. And because we have 5,300 women in the Facebook group, and then the Facebook page is like 14,000, but Facebook sends it out when more people interact with it. It's kind of like, oh, they like it. Let's send it to the next cohort of people. That's how the new algorithm works. I don't like it, but they're like, nobody sees your stuff. But the more you interact with it, that will help to do that. And then share it. Go ahead and share it to your page, or share it via messenger to someone that you know, or also just share the link from Mint to More. Like, girl, you need to be in this. Just sign up. You figure it out later. You'll meet Quanisha. Or have them come into the Facebook group. So, we definitely want to impact more women. And the way we're going to do that is by sharing, right? Word of mouth. Just think about, that's been our lives as Black women. Like, girl, you need to go see this. Girl, this is on Lifetime, right? That same way you tell your friends, do that with your business, right? We know Black women are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs. So sisters need this information. And we talk about it from our experience, from a culturally relevant point. So this is your first time really having an experience with us. This is really how I show up. Maybe a little bit more calmer. Can I take my deep breaths? But this is how we show up. This is how we teach. This is how we interact. And this is how we foster community. So if you can do that, if you can share it on your page, or if you want to share it via Messenger, just you getting it out there, I appreciate it, because it really is helping another sister rise. And definitely feel free to share the link. If you have any questions, send us a message. And we're happy to answer, either myself or my team. You may even hear some of you got a message from Dee today, or my team will definitely connect with you to make sure that we can support you, right? Or even explore how we can support you if you want to, see how we can work with you, all this other stuff. But right now, I'm just like, come from it for more. You're going to get fed, because I really want you all to have a profitable business, right? To increase your power. Because think about it, when you have more money, the more reach, the more influence, the more impact, right, that you can have. And then we all know that we're here because we have a calling. We're honoring our calling. So even you're increasing in your purpose as well as your profits, right? That's why it's meant for more. Some of you know that you are meant for so much more, right? And that's why it's called the Meant for More workshop, to help you increase your profits, power, and purpose. So I will leave you that. Our motto is that power is the ability to create your reality. So go forth and be powerful, sister, and I'll see you soon. Oh, girl, the episode stopped, but the party is not over. I want you to go ahead and subscribe, like, and rate this show. Leave us a comment sharing your takeaways. And when you're done with that, come on over to blackwomanceo.com, join our movement. And when you do that, you'll get the special invitation to join us in our community. Well, I would love to put a face to that name, girl. So this is Quanisha signing off, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Peace and love.